Asita Fernando changes. It's not a slower one into the pitch. It's just lobbed over.
It looks like just 105.4 kilometers per hour. A particular bouncer by Asita Fernando. Keeping the batsman honest, but the slow ball bouncer, I just thought it was a waste of delivery. Want to be aggressive, give it effort in. This occasion was the off cutter into the pitch, and rightly so called by wide by the umpires.
He stands right across the stumps. Imon. And Asita Fernando, well, the way he's bowling in fuller, I think that's a little dangerous. Because can hit him on the pads. Ball's not moving as much now. And Imon's problem is his head falls across. That means he's going to be playing over his pad, which I think Asita Fernando would prefer. He's very strong through the offside. That straighter delivery, probably a sitting duck with where he starts on off stump.
Yeah, surely Asita will fancy his chances, but I think rather than bowling it fuller, hit the deck on a good length, just like that, probably a little bit fuller, and try and hit the pad back of the length, rather than going fuller. Just the feel as set for the particular delivery, which is to bowl straight as possible, fuller with a long on in place, deep square leg in place. But the best chance to get him on out with this field would be back of the length, try and aim the knee of the batter. That will be my game plan if I'm the ball.
Two more deliveries in the power play. And Sri Lanka will have a little bit more of a cushion and they can spread the field a bit more. Very good from Asita Fernando. I don't think he's searching for the wicket now like he did in his first 3 overs. This is more about getting to that 10th over.
Yeah, correct. Just want to finish off the 10th over and possibly afterwards think of wicket-taking options. That has been the game plan ever since this madness. Now he finished his spell. My station was bought in more of a containment mentality rather than attacking. After 10 overs, probably a couple of overs of Johnny Teleke just to see if there's anything, or else get Will Lalage from where on in. A lot of options for Charita Sri Lanka, something we have to keep a close eyes on. What sort of attack it's going to be.
Bottom edge bounces in front of Mendes, so that ends the power play. Bangladesh are 55 for 2. So the run rate in power play 1, 55 today, and that's Bangladesh's lowest score in the series in the first 10 overs.
Coming round the wicket to Imon, Mahesh Deekshana. 4 fielders outside the circle. Was at sweeper cover, long on.
Goes across the stumps. Deekshana saw that.
Predominantly in the 2.2 overs Mahesh Deekshana has bowled, mostly has been Karan ball. And this occasion he goes with the right arm off spinner. Good seam position. Pace is above 100 kilometers per hour. Again it was full. Just the left you spoke about Russ.
Bowling from way wide at the crease, Deekshana. Brilliant fielding. Coming the Mendes, that was stuck out the right mid.
Good energy by Kamidu. If he had missed the extra cover fielder, should have been a couple of runs there. excellent commitment.
Bills on the dots. That's what you need to do. And the pressure builds. The batter will look for shots that aren't there. He's trying to get off strike. He's trying to score runs.
Is the full length again? Any other classical left-hand batter or right-hander in that length, in that pace, would have creamed through extra cover. Come on, spoke a couple of overs before Russell. Just another half volley.
But he'll be thinking about the required run rate.
Big shot time, come on, big shot coming.
There you go. Mendy's saying, big shot coming.
Oh yes, boy. Oh yes.
Another daughter made Nova. 55 for 2 after 11. A wonderful 100 from Kusal Mendes has led Sri Lanka till 85 for 7, and now that looks a long way away for Bangladesh, who lost 2 early wickets.
Pretty late for a stroke. Take a look at where the ball was trying to make contact. Almost near his eye level. Should have been ideal in front of the pads. As suspected, Puditwa Lal getting to the attack.
Just the 1 over from Asita Fernando Felix. In his second spell, gets Sri Lanka to the 10th over, and then the spinners come in. Maximum of 4 fielders allowed and straight away utilized. Choose a call, Renault is quick.
Puditwa Lal ge up at Tarami at Premada. One or two to turn to preempt the doubt. That's something that I'm sure that we'll keep in mind to create doubt and hit the front pad of with Udoy, who usually plays the left arm spin pretty well. Game plan against him on will be quite different.
Batting wise, lot remaining for Bangladesh. Adiasan Miraj comes in at 5, usually very good at number 7, 8. Jafar Ali, Shamim Hussain, Patwari. Oh, good one, came back in. That was quicker from Bilalage.
Yeah, 96.2. I seen Persian skidding on. Thomas Udoy trying to open up the gap between cover point and extra cover and almost chopped it onto his own stumps. Again, drift. Good start by Bilalage. Just the 2 runs from that over. 57 for 2.
There and thereabouts. After 12 overs, Tikshana 3 overs, none for 6, and Hasaranga introduced very early. Last 3 overs, Bangladesh have scored only 6 runs. Hasaranga dismissed Timon in the previous game. Swept well, but that'll spin right round to Chamira. Do you think he's brought in to just get his overs done, protect him?
It will be interesting to see how much effort he can put in. Hamstring injuries can be almost like pricking with a needle. Looks like that's his back foot as well. Has to build his stability, and most of the time, I reckon in this server he's trying to skid on. Probably bowl 2-3 overs to see if there is anything possible out of this pitch. As they say, Russell, always be wary of the wounded soldier. You never know.
Well, in the last year or so, I've seen him bowl on one leg on many occasions. Injuries have not been his friend. This is what happened. That's the fastest he's ever run, I believe, and then he's gone, struggling after.
The same hamstring has been bothering him for a lot. Back foot, don't think he's trying to land it as hard as he can. He's just bowling with the upper body rather than putting in effort from the entire body. Understandably, you need to have stability while you land from the back foot. So this is where he'll be tested. But I think Charita Salanka, the think tank, the management would like push Manidu Asaranga and see 2-3 overs if he can make an impact. If not, make a call later on.
Was that last shot, was it off the bottom of the bat? Because he was trying to sweep towards square leg. Ball ended up going to mid-wicket.
All these deliveries are skidding on to the batter.
Required rate, just scraped over 6. He's looking to sweep everything. That's what Imran is doing against Hasaranga. Not really sure he's picking the wrong end or what Hasaranga is bowling.
Oh, yes, boy!
61 for 2. Five bowlers used. We've seen Lanka's leading spinners into the attack. Asalanka also bowls a lot more since he's been captain. And he's been very effective too, I must say. Picked up many wickets, vital wickets. We will see him at some stage.
Left and right hand combination in the middle for Bangladesh. Spinners will probably find a little hard to adjust to. If I'm in the think tank of Bangladesh, I would love to continue with the right hand left hand combination. Chakar Ali, Medius and Miraj and February. The rest of the next 3 batters to come in. Left-hander gets in, I'll probably get Shami Hussain. Or in case if the right-hander gets out next, I'll probably get the captain. Keep the left-hand, right-hand combination, especially in the middle overs against spinners.
Goes big. Mid-wicket gets around and takes it. Nishan Madhuskar charges that to perfection. The runs were drying up. And hence the big shot comes out.
It was coming, wasn't it? Last 30 deliveries, only 14 runs, and on the 31st there was a wicket. Was quiet for a little while. He was tested with some good spin bowling. India was trying to break the shackles, going with the turn, the right option, but the execution was poor. And Dawatudo, he cannot believe what his partner has done, and a good catch at deep mid wicket by Nishan Madhuskar. Parvez Hussain Imran gone for 28. Bangladesh 62 for 3.
It's the captain who's come out, Mediasan Miraj. Been at 5 through the series. Mediasan Miraj at 5 could tell me that the batting is a little thin. He's been very useful in the past. I'm not so sure. It's at 5. I haven't seen enough, let me tell you that. Will Alaga's got a wicket.
Well, option, going with the turn, but the question has to be asked, was that necessary? That was possibly tempted, forced by good bowling. Previously to that, 5 overs, only 14 runs. All of a sudden, the big shot comes out. Looks like, well, Lalagi will continue from the far end, the 2 right-handers in. From the other end, a bit tempted to bring one of the fast bowlers. Remember last game, he was bounced out by Dushman Chamira.
Oh, it gets off the mark. 0 and 9 have been Mediasan Miraj's contributions at number 5 this series.
Just looking at the field and trying to figure out if any of the fast bowlers warming up. Doesn't look like Dushman Chamira or Asita Fernando.
Do they need to? This heat, they've been bowling 4 over spells. 64 for 3 then Bangladesh at the end of the 14th over. For 3. Sri Lanka will be pleased with their progress and extremely pleased that Manithu Hasaranga is on the field and is bowling. There was an element of doubt when he tried to take that run. He started limping. There were question marks as to whether it was a hamstring tear or a strain, but he seemed to have put all those doubts to rest and he's bowling here. It's certainly so important. I mean, well, let me tell you, he's the most dangerous. Once he's struggling with his fitness, when he's hurt physically, well read on that occasion. Yeah, plenty of positives for Sri Lankan team this match already, but for me the biggest positive is the usage of new ball. Wow. It was a treat. Both the fast bowlers, they were using the new cherry to some effect. They were swinging the ball in the air, deviation of the surface, swinging ball either side. Asked too many questions from the batters. That is a good news for Sri Lankan cricket. Just to add to that, it's always nice to see Chamira running in and bowling at full steam, bowling with a bit of extra pace. Then Asita Fernando also had really cranked his pace up a few notches, because if you remember during the test matches, his pace was down, it was more control, but now he's in his familiar territory, the mid 130s to the high 130s. He has started to hold his own.
في مستشفى الدكتور محمد الفقيه مختبر أسنان متطور ماسح ضوئي لأخذ مقاسات الأسنان بدقة عالية، طباعة الأسنان ثلاثية الأبعاد، المكبر المجهري لعلاج الأسنان.
End of a good over, decent over, 66 for 3. See, we spoke about the pace. Of course, the average pace gets calculated when you consider the slower deliveries also.
Yeah, to finish the point, when Sri Lankan fast bowlers are bowling in a test match, they go through the motions rather than bowling with the belief that, yes, they can create a difference. That's well fetched. From outside the off stump, gets a boundary. First boundary after 43 deliveries. Tells you the struggle of these batters.
Yeah, that's been long time waiting. Sri Lankans have looked to strangle them. That was bowled slower and bowled wider. So he fetched it from outside the off stump. It was a well executed shot. Again another one. Again bowled slower and beautifully charged and beautifully executed. Bowled deliberately slower and wider on the off stump.
Is up for the job, captain. Whenever he sees a bit of flying and the ball pitched outside the off stump, he's ready to toss the ball towards mid-wicket. The vacant area. Now force the captain to place a deep mid-wicket. And that will force the bowler to start darting the ball in.
Maybe has been short of runs. That's outside the line. This is his best score. But let's keep an eye on Dunit Vellalaga's release points. That's the delivery, the previous one. And just look at that. He's bowling it slightly lower. The previous one was higher. The other one was lower. Into the over. 74 for 3. So 74 for 3, and it's time for some breaks.